one. There are songs that talk about how the children are our future. There are sayings that tell us it takes a village to raise a child, and it lauds the virtues of us coming together to protect our children. Like, as a matter of fact, you will hear politician after politician say, what about the children? We don't want to saddle our children with debt. Then why is it that every time we get a chance to demonstrate our affinity for children, our respect for children, our desire to keep them safe, we fail miserably as a nation? When our children are shot in their schools, do we do anything to mitigate gun deaths? No, we give teachers guns. We don't try to make it less violent. We just make sure that everybody has a gun. The first time whenever stuff gets bad and there are budget cuts, what's cut? Education. We have obese children. What do they cut? PE. Now, I don't know about you, but a ball and a block of and grass is a lot cheaper than insulin. When we find out that our children are obese, we cut nutritional food, or we cut food stamps, or we embarrass children who are behind and won't feed them. Now, we have procedures in place where if somebody wears braids, they can't wear those. How many times have we covered stories where a kid didn't get to graduate because he wore a haircut or braids somebody didn't like? Or a kid didn't get to participate in sports, like he didn't get to wrestle anymore because his hair was out of regulation. Or someone wears a T-shirt and they can't graduate. Or a Mexican flag and they can't graduate. We pretend to care about children but do very little to exemplify that. We don't make sure that they're safe any other way. When schools are shut up as they will, I don't care if it's San Diego or the school Douglas in Florida, the response is always the same, nothing. So it should come as no surprise that some of the very states who in response to school shootings decided to give teachers guns. Why is it that you will make sure that children can't wear certain T-shirts? You come to school with a BLM T-shirt and see how fast you get suspended. You wear a Mexican flag and see what happens to you. You wear your hair in braids and see what goes on. All of these are to pretend like we're trying to keep uniformity and safety, but none of that is true. The very states right now who were so quick to give teachers guns will not give them masks. I guarantee you more children will be sickened with COVID or die from COVID than died in shootings. It was so responsible. Our thing is always to pretend to care about children. We use them in speeches and in songs and in poems. We talk about how necessary they are, but they're not. Because if they would, we would do everything we could to protect them. And everything in our history shows us that we will not. 28 children shot in Sandy Hook. What do people say? It was a hoax. 18 people shot. Oh, it's no big deal. That we don't want to infringe on our rights. We have never cared about children. When we need, when stuff gets bad, what do? We cut food stamps. When stuff gets good, what do? We cut food stamps. So we pretend to care about children when we're giving speeches and when we're raising money for whatever political venture, or when we're writing songs or we're doing something creative, but never really. Never really. You can tell there were people who didn't want students to wear their pants sagging, and there were laws put in place in certain cities. They couldn't do that. This is just an extrapolation of all of that. We never have really cared about children. They're ornaments, really. Just ornaments. Things you say you have. Things that indicate to other people that you're supposed to be a caring person. But we're not. Because if we were, we wouldn't treat them the way we do. We wouldn't let things happen to them the way we do. How is it the very places where teachers, in response to school shootings, they gave them guns, they will not give them masks? How is it that bullets are more successful, are supposed to be more successful in the hands of a teacher than mask and knowledge? That's a little note from a GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.